You take my breath away. Sorry, that is not a compliment. It's a breathing health problem. Let us today use colored confetti to highlight and visualize chemicals and fragrances floating in the air and when combined are in each breath we try and take. One only has to spend a day as a teacher in a classroom setting, spend time in boardrooms, or work in a shared office setting with no physical contact to come home with clothes, hair, and skin smelling of the room's take flight, ever-changing signature scent to experience being coated by this chemical fragrance accumulation witnessed here. Sadly, most indoor activities today will give you the same cloaking, choking, scented results. We will explore this very important indoor chemical fragrance explosion shortly. Every outside walk, we are repeatedly attacked by fragrance walkers. Are they more dangerous than White Walkers of Game of Thrones fame? Blindsided by this powerful chemical fragrance blast as it, without notice, enters your lungs and takes your breath away, yes, White Walkers are a cakewalk comparatively. People continue to question. Most just roll their eyes and whisper to themselves, "You're nuts," about the intrusiveness and health consequences of the chemicals and all those fragrances. Very sadly, doctors today are still scared of being that forceful, needed voice. So let me ask, how many puffs of smoke in your face before you started to have health concerns, stopped rolling your eyes and said enough is enough? Remember that smoke-smelling life and the cigarette manufacturer's unequivocal denial of the health issues, like that of fragrances today, as we journey forward. How long did it take for doctors to change their message? Let's understand the importance of our senses. Sight, a sense we'd like to think we have some control over. Imagine a shining light glaring down at you all day. Could you work? Could you enjoy life? How stressed would you be? Aren't lights used as a form of torture? Hearing. Imagine a fire engine siren, your neighbors constantly barking dogs, or someone else's favorite music sounding, no, blasting in your ears all day. Could you work? Could you enjoy life? How stressed would you be? I think we'd all agree we'd go crazy mad in these worlds. Our sense of smell and taste are a part of this spectrum of senses and must be respected and protected. But what I wear is pretty, people want to say. I say, how do you know what your pretty signature scent is? First, with fragrance fatigue, that inability to smell what you wear. And what about the confetti mixture of fragrances that make your signature scent? Can you truthfully say you know what that smells like? How strong it is, a question hard to answer as those around you gasp for breath. Since fragrance is a trade secret, as they conveniently hide behind this and many other laws, what knowledge do you have on the chemicals used to make it or the health impact on others? Cancer continued to kill all ages at an alarming rate without anyone raising their hands saying, "It's our chemicals. that might be, no, are the problem. Did we forget to say we didn't test? And thanks to the government, we were grandfathered in, so we have nothing to worry about. Most important, if a person finds your fragrances distracting, disruptive, intrusive, or offensive, then regardless of what you think is beautiful, how they feel answers the question, should they be subjected to breathing your fragrances, everyone else's, and fragrances everywhere they go, all day? Before answering that question, if we could be real here and millions could be honest without fear of alienating friendships, they'd say your fragrances of many combined, honestly, are brutally suffocating and smothering. Let's get back to my comment all day. Let's fully explore this all-day phenomenon and its suffocating effect. Does sitting next to fragrance coworkers qualify as part of all day? Does an hour-long train ride with fragrance passengers qualify as part of all day? What about that dinner party you so looked forward to, or your favorite restaurant, but found you were surrounded by fragrance wearers? What about that walk in the park with a friend, but every step was dominated by their fragrances and nothing of the conversation mattered? How about those needed, important doctor, dentist, eye exam appointments in small rooms filled with powerful silage trains still running from those before, every seat cloaked in fragrances? Shop any needed product today, and like 50 years ago, when each store was filled with smoke and all the contents in you were coated with a smoke smell, as you didn't have a choice. The same is true today of fragrances. No choice. Have the opportunity to hire a limo, and sadly, a smoking scent cologne abuse of the most egregious magnitude fills the limo prison as you try and breathe. Every part of the fabric of your being coated what will seem like forever as your luggage carries this chemical fragrance explosion with you. Should you want daily proof, ride your bike past these drivers waiting for customers in front of expensive hotels. Try Sunset Boulevard in Southern California, and 25 yards and 25 miles an hour won't be far or fast enough as you hit their powerful, massive in size fragrance cloud, cementing the strength of this abuse. Better yet, try and stay at one of these expensive hotels. The lobby, your room, continuous fragrance explosions as a fragrance cloud coats your mind and body. As we visit stores today, we find each with its invisible but very powerful fragrance cloud, a footprint on your mind as its signature fragrances, bottle after bottle, fill shelving space. These fragrances are pervasive, long-lasting, and cling to customers and all the store's contents. Isn't that why they use them? So you remember them as you take that smell home on your person and bought products. And when those stores are high-end groceries that cook up today's choicest dishes and baked goods, don't think for a minute those fragrances aren't coating muffin tops as those chemicals fill the cavities of that pastry you couldn't stop thinking about. It's not like food is off limits from this invisible chemical and fragrance footprint. And if all that isn't enough, let's not forget fragrances, those that come from things that plug, heating chemicals that explode, filling the air, or canisters that spray those similar chemicals and fragrances. Enter a bathroom today, and you can expect these will be waiting for you. Today, whether you live in an apartment or condo building, or own a home where property lines and windows are but a few feet away, you can't escape your neighbor's excessive fragrances as it uses your open windows or crawls through your door as it endlessly clouds your mind. Leases and condo rules enforce protection of quiet enjoyment. Cigarettes have been banned from most shared property common areas. How is it your neighbor's fragrances still can so dominate your mind all hours of the day without any protection? These fragrance neighbors have taken away your ability to keep windows open and the enjoyment of a cool, windswept breeze blowing through your home. All day? Yes, all day. Every room, everywhere, even your home. Yes, all day. These, very sadly, all are normal daily challenges pieced together, each in the battlefield of relentless, unstoppable, truth be told, no on-off switch, as it's impossible to turn you and all those fragrances off. And indefensible, that which cannot be defended against chemical fragrance attacks on your sense of smell, your ability to breathe, and that plays havoc on your sense of taste. So much for enjoying the rich flavors of food eating out, once one of the great pleasures of life. Isn't it really just a few questions we are trying to answer? Does it offend or make people feel uncomfortable, your fragrances? And is it harmful to their health, those chemicals? Is it harmful to you, the wearer? Is also a question we need to ask and answer. It doesn't matter if it's recognized as one of the greatest causes of death after one of the most extensive studied products ever sold, cigarettes. If you pay the government millions upon billions of tax dollars, you can sell this deadly product to as many people as possible, as is evident by the amount still legally sold. Let's imagine going to government today and saying, I'd like to legally sell fentanyl, understanding it will kill. From the cigarette story just told, you'd expect them to say, how could they deny it? No problem. Sell as many as you'd like. Just make sure to pay us in tax dollars. The Vietnam War and Agent Orange. Asbestos particles by the bazillions and DDT. Not good. Lead in paint. Hi, little baby. What's that chip in your mouth? 9/11 Ground Zero. What were we thinking? Oops, sorry, we'll try and do better. I guess with chemicals and all those fibers, we, the government, have a lot to learn. I'd call that a death cloud. What I'm about to say, I say with the heaviest of heart and deepest respect for those brave men and women who lost their lives. Really, how is it possible the EPA, our so-called protector, and many people in charge didn't understand what materials are used to build skyscrapers and what's used and stored in these buildings? How is it possible that two gigantic clouds of two skyscrapers crushed onto themselves and all its common knowledge contents, asbestos, fiberglass, freon, fuel, glass, lead, mercury, plastics, batteries, flame retardants, etc., etc., and the knowledge of volatile organic compounds isn't in itself a gigantic, breathing red flag? I find it impossible to comprehend that those organizations didn't understand the health impact of those clouds and all those chemicals and particles by the billions floating in the air, hiding in the soil, and waiting around every corner. Within days, they said it's safe. Go back to normal life again. As miles and miles of city blocks were coated in this chemical cloud. Really? Oh yes, let us not forget those forever chemicals in those clouds and soil. Yes, those forever chemicals they conveniently forgot to tell us about. Through all my research, I could not find one person that was held responsible for this toxic response and cleanup disaster. Not one, in the face of all that death and sadly, not years, but decades of continued suffering. An oops quote I read from former EPA leader Christian Todd Whitman. I'm very sorry that people are sick. I'm very sorry that people are dying. And if the EPA and I in any way contributed to that, I'm sorry. We did the very best we could at the time with the knowledge we had. I say, and what knowledge would that be? Study after alarming study of all those chemicals, a click away, that knowledge needed to guide decisions to protect human life. This is one of history's greatest unsolved, ignored crimes. Is the word sorry a defense that excuses a criminal from responsibility for their actions? It appears 9/11 is an example where it worked. Our human genes became homes to stay. Those generations to follow, we all feel your sorrow as we remember that chemical cloud of dust, 9/11, that clear sky day. It most certainly didn't fly away, opposite of what they told you. Help us anyway. Then we don't care. Just die away. Can a place on earth in Louisiana where people live really carry the name Cancer Alley? What were the powers to be doing as this problem continues to escalate out of control? Who votes for collecting money? The thinking behind burn pits in the face of the consequences of 9/11 is impossible to understand. since many of the same things that burned and or exploded on 9/11 is what is burning in burn pits. Does anyone really think a gigantic burn pit black cloud is filled with snow-topped mountain cold clean air? ProPublica reports 61 active burn pit sites as of November 2022. Government looks in the eyes of those who are sick and says, we still need more testing. But you can't go home. You must stay and breathe in this black cloud. Watch the Jon Stewart Show on Apple TV to hear how the commander addressed Jon Stewart's concerns and facts. The book Amputated Lives in Brilliant Clarity with informative interviews exposes how those at the 1989 Exxon Valdez oil spill, the Gulf War, 9/11, and 2005 Hurricane Katrina became chronically ill as a result of exposure to toxic chemicals. That's right, toxic chemicals. This 85,000 plus chemical explosion in commerce is without question our government's biggest, costliest, and deadliest mistake, perhaps the world's. Shockingly, we have yet to study most of the 85,000 plus chemicals in commerce individually. Try and imagine those chemical combinations and quantities that track towards infinity. Shockingly, how many chemical combinations are used to get most people ready every morning? You only have to look at the confetti to start understanding the scope of the problem. You certainly have the opportunity to internet learn about some of the chemicals in question before you sadly splash, dab, spray, apply, wash, and clean your life away. Most of us have heard about Julia Roberts' movie Erin Brockovich. After finding hexavalent chromium in the water table, a company was sued and sick people were awarded money. How many listening would choose to allow a doctor to infect their child with a cancer that would most likely cause a lifetime of suffering, possibly death, in 2 to 7 years for say $5 or even $10 million? Who's willing to give up a spouse, your mother as you start high school, or your own health for $15 million? The awards, no matter how big they seem, are meaningless dollars as you find yourself crying for a life worth living or for loved ones every day for the rest of your life. The chemical industry annually, as per internet searches, makes over $800 billion. Let's just say a lot of money. What Fight for the People's Rights organization or any part of government has the people power, money, time, and commitment to fight this unstoppable money printing press where questions of chemical safety abound on this chemical fragrance train of delivery to the human body? Would anyone expect a manufacturer of chemicals in question in this money avalanche stop production so many years worth of necessary, costly, needed testing be done on their products individually and used in those combinations of 2, through infinity? I think by now we can emphatically all answer no to that question. Synthetic chemicals, research tells us, makes most of the fragrances people wear and use while cleaning. Chilling chemical formulas linked to neurotoxicity, carcinogens, allergic reactions, and asthma, environmental toxins, birth defects, and central nervous system disorders fill articles referencing study after alarming study. All the while, these chemicals do laps in our bloodstream as they decide if it's your liver, lungs, heart, or brain they want to set up shop in. But make no mistake, they are setting up shop at that alarming cancer rate mentioned before. Are we the unknowing guinea pigs of the chemical industry? I think we'd all agree 100% yes is the answer to that question. If I may briefly talk about cigarettes again, how long did it take and at what financial and human costs to recognize the impact of cigarettes? But still, that cigarette money train continues to run full speed ahead with millions smoking and sold. What about those government smoke-free zones, they say? I laugh at that statement. To stop people from smoking, police force? Where? Really? And in every smoking household in this world, who's protecting the young from these adult smokers? These children continue to breathe this toxic smoke in these impossibly monitored smoke prisons. And as non-smokers walk the streets of our cities, people continue to smoke, filling our lungs and mind with poison as they take our breath away. This pathetic example is our government protecting us, a mirror image of the chemical and fragrance industries. Most important, what about the impossibly monitored, untested chemical and fragranced prisons children, newborn, and the fetus live in today? Who's protecting them? Again, that's an easy answer. No one. I wake each day with a voice I say, why did you leave me? What sent you away? I loved you, dear, you, my wife. Why did you leave me? What sent you away? Will the world's synthetic hand send us all away? I loved you, dear, never to be taken away. I smell you still. Sadly, I always will. Hey, shampoo, perfume here. What did I hear you say? You are the strongest? I've got you beat. Yes, you have total head coverage, but my silage train wraps around people, tells them I'm coming and whence I've been. My top, middle, and bass notes make beautiful music. Hey, perfume, cologne here. My splash and spray morning routine gives me max frontal coverage that wakes people up to my scent. And yes, I play all the notes. Bubble bath here. My clients soak their entire body in my heavily fragranced bubbles. I've got them covered head to toe. My fragrances overscent all yours. Bar soap here. We lather up a fragrance scent that lasts all day. We are a force to be reckoned with. Hair products here. Our colorings, bleaching, straighteners, hairsprays, mousse, etc. so dominate the head, our fragrance strength is off the charts. Did someone say formaldehyde? Hey everyone, this is laundry soap and my friend fabric softener. Our fragrance saturated covered clothes, including those winter hats, have got them covered head to toe. Our max coverage gives us total body exposure, where our sillage trains endlessly fly off the body in all directions. Our fragrances, powerful in scent, tend to overpower all yours with not only scent strength, but 2, 4, 6. We never go away times lasting strength. When the sun comes out, don't forget about us. Sunscreen here. Our smell is unmistakable, and people tend to triple coat us on. So don't think for a minute our scents aren't strong like yours. We are giants. Cosmetics here. Give us some credit as we coat faces with all these chemicals and fragrances. We are the AI porcelain smooth look that hide faces from one another. The killer of freckles and nature's beauty. What we pulled off is amazing. We sold billions of women the biggest lie in the world. They're convinced they aren't pretty without us and need us every day. Even all those amazing athletic women in sports feel the need to compete with us coating their faces. We took away all their confidence. Hush hush on this. If word gets out, we might be out of business. Sadly, we couldn't get the guys today to buy in, and I must admit, they look pretty damn good without us. We had them centuries ago, but they all jumped ship for a chemical-free, healthier hue. Hey guys and gals, Phthalates here. Don't forget about us. Or maybe, like most, you didn't know we lived in the products you use because they conveniently forgot to tell you. Masking agents here. Why is it that you feel sick today? Yes, it is. We are an offensive fragrances chemical best friend. We cloak that scent so you think it's safe, but still, those chemicals have a devastating effect on you. You have so many magical days ahead. Prom, graduation, your wedding. Whose face will you go with? Life, that magical journey. Whose face will walk this journey with you? Imagine there's no fragrances, no sillage fragrance clouds circling us, no room for fragrances or nasty chemicals in bathrooms of today. No spray bottles that douse. We no longer splash to start the day. Please come join us in this new blue sky world today, living life fragrance free. We don't want to hear babies cry today, so look up at this new blue sky world today. Better, healthier choices. This planet thanks you. Hooray! Go play tennis, ride a bike. Maybe you'll swim a mile, run 10. Whitewater Rapids are an hour away. Cook healthier, eat slower, laugh with friends, share a meal with those less fortunate today. But more than anything else, the choice to say no is that sound telling yourself, I'm going fragrance-free today. Homes and businesses, as time erodes them, periodically need maintenance work. Furniture and appliances need delivering. How do we allow choking, abusive in strength fragrance workers to enter as they leave their days-lasting chemical fragrance footprint as it coats the fabric of our homes and businesses and the air we breathe? Today, how many workers do you allow to enter with a cigarette dangling from their lips? 50 years ago, you somehow had no problem letting them in. What about that 6-inch cigar? We deserve and demand a choice. We can't allow fragrances and all those chemicals, as did smoke and all those chemicals, to dominate every aspect of life without that choice to say no. I speak this loudly for the unheard voices of the world as they try to breathe and live a healthier life. Okay, I've mostly been negative so far, and I apologize. Well, maybe just a little. I needed you to hear the horrible mistakes our government, I just want to scream, has and continues to make as it takes away people's health and life. Yes, government, hear this again, grandfathered in most of the chemicals today without that needed testing. What these chemicals are doing to our world and to the animals which many people eat, unimaginable. Read Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring, to get a sense of the scope of the problem. No more can the current EPA and FDA, whose legacy is made up of massive mistakes, be our so-called protectors. They need to be gutted. The diverse group of people needed to run them? A great question. The urgency, immediate. Successfully proven advice taught and repeated moves people to succeed. I want to move you to live healthier without fragrances, cosmetics, and all those chemicals. I'm asking you to read You Take My Breath Away, the many studies published and the tons of literature written about the harm these chemicals are doing. Please read and reread them. Try and hear all the stories and let them teach and guide you. Choose. Hear this loudly. You absolutely have that choice to choose a different path to feeling healthier while not distracting, suffocating, and harming others and this planet with the products you use. Living life feels amazing in a snow-topped mountain cloud of clean air. You're my business partner, teammate, brother, mother. You're my best friend. I don't feel myself around you. Headaches, nausea, I just can't concentrate. Breathing, out of the question. Please, I must ask you to leave. I do hope someday, soon, you decide to live fragrance-free. I'd love to hug you and tell you how much I love you. Mom and Dad, Baby Baker here. There's something we need to talk about. First, Mom, all those months inside you, I was screaming, stop, but you couldn't hear me. I was kicking and kicking, let me out, but you were just smiling and laughing. This lotion, that perfume, layer upon layer of makeup. Don't you like how you look? I think you're pretty. And the clothes, a chemical fragrance party. Are you kidding me? All those chemicals were not the nourishment I needed. And now that I'm out, my tiny brain is trying to grow. Mom, not the face. Stop touching your face to mine. You've got it all over my eyes and nose now. I don't know what it feels like to breathe clean, toxic-free air in my mouth. I hate that taste. Mom, by the way, those nipples, they taste horrible. The same as that chemically treated sour milk you make me drink. Dad, please stop. 15-minute showers with so many different soaps, lotions, and products. Sometimes I think you're worse than Mom. Dad, stop spraying those fragrances on your chest. I hate lying on your hairy chest. Dad, I'm not smiling. Are you trying to X me out of existence? Dad, your hands are a chemical scent spreader that are always touching me. Please, put me down and just go to work. I will always resent you for what you put me through. And I'm sorry. I don't think I'm going to grow up and make you both proud. You both just never gave my little body and brain a chance. Listen, I'm not a guinea pig for the chemical and fragrance industries. I'm a fragile human baby. I needed protection when I was in you, Mom. And when I came out, Dad, you were supposed to be my protector. You both failed me miserably. Not the bassinet of horror, those sheets and blankets soaked in that same awful, powerful smell like these PJs. Look at me. You say you love me. I hear it all the time. You show me the opposite of love. Please don't cover me. You take my breath away.